What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. Y'all, I'm a big fan of Sebastian Telfair's. I'm a big fan of his story. Me and my right hand man, Kiefer Sykes, every time we used to hoop in Chicago, whether we was at his house or my house, we would always watch Through the Fire before we went to go hoop, after we came from hooping. It was like the basketball Bible that every young shorty that wanted to make it, especially if you were a small player, you watch that documentary and you be in awe and amazed at what Sebastian Telfair pulled off, because he was a 6 foot guard who was a lottery pick, which was nearly, that was unheard of, being a lottery pick out of high school, no college experience, became a lottery pick to the Portland Trailblazers, right? Outstanding story. But Sebastian has got to stop blaming Adidas for why he peaked early. He always seems to blame Adidas for him not panning out as this superstar guard that Slam Magazine predicted. Okay? And every time he in an interview, when they took my Adidas deal, because he don't say the S in Adidas. My Adidas deal, they take my Adidas deal. He act like when that deal was snatched, like it took his superpowers. He's not being truthful in those regards, man. He's not. Sebastian Telfair, this is the truth of the matter. Sebastian Telfair never panned out as a superstar. He lasted 10 years in the league, right? He got that check, that pension check for sure, which is a long time to last, especially for a guard that came out of high school and was small. Sebastian didn't pan out as a superstar because he was not athletic. He was a small guard. He was a streaky shooter. He was not a really great shooter, for real. Like, he got better as years progressed in the league. He was not a good shooter. He wasn't this outstanding defender, and that's the whole matter. A lot of times we all say he should have went to college, but I'm gonna be for real. The best thing for Sebastian Telfair was to go to the league. If he goes to college, right? It's 04. He goes to college. He can't just go to college and he couldn't come out after 1 year. I didn't see Sebastian. Like, when I think about it, I think Sebastian people would have noticed some chinks in his armor at that point if he would have went to college. Not saying he wouldn't have been successful, I believe so, but I feel like people would have found reasons not to draft him because, he's mature and he's older now and he's still, he's not this and he's not that. When you're young, sometimes, you're young, you coming out of the New York, I shouldn't say hype machine, but yeah, you coming out because, he was really nice, but you coming out of the New York hype machine, you a New York guard, your flavor it's at its peak. You know what I mean? People watching you do stuff in these dang on these AAU tournaments. They watching you do stuff at Rucker, all of that, and they're in awe of you. When you go to the league, I think that the shininess to the armor can come off a little bit, right? And I think people would have noticed, like, oh man, he's not really good at that. He's not really athletic. He can't really shoot. Yeah, he can still get to the cup and score, but is that gonna really translate to the league? People gave him more leeway, I think, in high school than they would have if he would have went to college. Let's just say Bassey stayed all 4 years at Louisville, right? At Louisville, right? He come out in 08. Who in that draft? Derrick Rose, Russell Westbrook. So now you're starting to see the guards who are extremely quick, athletic as hell, can dunk with their elbows, right? Explosive, way more explosive than Bassey ever been. He would have been in trouble. So the best thing for him was to come out of high school, and he got the lottery pick money. But Bassey, he got to stop making these excuses for why he didn't get to that next level of superstardom. It was it wasn't because an Adidas shoe deal went sour. It wasn't. And Sebastian has to show more growth than that. He in an All Smoke interview, trying to use LeBron's relationship with Nike as a way to justify why he didn't have a star-studded career after Adidas took his deal from him. Like, Adidas didn't give me my money, whatever, right? Like, he got to take more accountability for the errors in his life as a man. And it's hard for a lot of us to do. It's been hard for me to do that at times, right? Take accountability for certain errors that I've made. It's hard. It's not easy, right? It's really hard for to take accountability for certain things not falling through. And but as you get older and you gain discernment, you gain knowledge, wisdom, You can't be hollering at Adidas did you wrong is the way why you didn't succeed. Adidas is not why you didn't become a superstar. Because I remember he said it in the what interview was that? The It Is What It Is interview. He alluded to, oh man, you get Adidas, it's like a curse, it's like a curse. I thought the brother was joking. He dead serious. He really believed he didn't take off because Adidas took his deal. You know, and he say LeBron, he feel like LeBron wouldn't be Bron if he was wearing Shaq's. He say he would have his numbers, but he wouldn't be playing as dominant if you took his contract away with Nike. Like this, I'm paraphrasing. Bro, dominance is dominance, no matter what brand of shoe you wearing. Yes, the brand would have helped to boost him because Nike got a good machine behind him and all of that. But let's be for real, man. If LeBron is not a generational talent, it don't go nowhere, it don't move no traction. Yeah, it helps marketability, but LeBron was an athletic 6'8", 6'9" dude that pulled off crazy in-game dunks, who was explosive, could jump like a goddamn rocket, was on his back, had great passing ability, a high IQ, could anticipate the passing lanes, could block shots with the best of them, pin shots to the backboard. It didn't matter if he was wearing a goddamn Skechers. If he was wearing British Knights, it didn't matter if he was wearing I don't know I don't know. It don't matter what he was wearing. He could have wear Reebok. He could have wore like I said, Skechers, New Balance. It didn't matter. He was going to be LeBron because of that type of play. Yeah, I get it. Prestige and celebrity status comes with like a Nike deal a little bit, right? More prestige. But again, Bron was already a generational talent. He wouldn't have been an icon without that generational talent. Bassey trying to make it seem like Nike made him. Because the first thing he tried to explain it, Matt Barnes like, listen, Bron would have been Bron and goddamn flip-flops. He right, no, you right. But, you know, he's like, so he was like, first then he started explaining like as if like the brand helped him. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the brand could help in ways. But he's still gonna be him. He's like, no, you gonna have your numbers. He's like, but playing like you're more motivated to play when you got Nike behind you. That's what he tried to make it seem like. He was like, Kobe told me one time, y'all can't guard me. Y'all got him on a bus. I got him on a helicopter. Well, a lot of times, man, sometimes it don't help people sometimes, right? You start getting a little lax when you get all this type of luxury items. You know what I mean? But yeah, bro, like, it didn't matter. Like, LeBron didn't need Nike backing him to be a dog, an elite player. He even said Jordan, like, yo, Jordan, you think Jordan would be Jordan without Jordans? Like, if he ain't had Jordans, you know, he talk Jordans. If Jordan didn't have Jordans, if Jordan didn't have Jordans didn't help him. No Jordans. That's how he be talking. And I'm like, shout out to Bassey, though. I fool with Bassey heavy. But, yeah, he was like basically alluding to Michael Jordan wouldn't have been the Michael Jordan if he didn't have that Nike brand behind him. Like, listen, man, Mike made the Nike brand. Like Mike made them revolutionary. You know what I mean? So it has to do with the player. Mike didn't go out there thinking, man, I got this Nike behind me. I got a different flair with me. No, they had that flair in high school. Matter of fact, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't LeBron back, like Adidas was pushing for Bron in high school. And he was putting up numbers like that. So it really, like, he trying to act like it's Adidas. Oh, Adidas, man, Adidas. Like, no, man, listen. Bron could have been wearing my shoe I made in my son's bedroom. And it was going to be what it was going to be. You know what I mean? But he got to take accountabilities for errors in his life. Like, Bassey can't even answer questions directly without trying to shift the blame on somebody else. With every question about his career, Sebastian, you know, you was extremely heralded in high school. Where did things go wrong? You know, my Adidas deal, they took my Adidas deal, man. Listen, Bassey, it was certain stuff you was getting into that was a little wild and a little hectic, man, that was around you. Yes, it was some chaos around you, elements that may not have always been all your fault, but it was some elements around you that was crazy. It wasn't just the Adidas deal, man. Like, let's be for real. Bassey got to stop smoking that weed and stuff. He started be acting like, oh, because I don't really understand what he trying to say. I understand what he's trying to say at first, and then it's like, at the end, it just tails off. Like, y'all stop smoking that weed, man. I know brothers like smoking that green and all that. They like smoking that herb, but some of that weed ain't good for you. Because I'm like, what is he trying to say? What? First, I'm like, okay, he say, okay, if you're trying to say the brand gives you a better push, okay, cool. But then he was like, no, plan too. When you got like he making it seem like when you got Nike backing you, you gonna ball harder than you would when you got Adidas backing you, or you know what I mean, like that push. When you got a Nike deal, it make you more of a dog. Like, listen, man, you a hooper, you a hooper. You a dog, flat out. Bassey was a dog in high school. Well, when he got to the league, he saw that the game was different. It was a different speed. He wasn't faster than everybody no more. He wasn't athletic, and it showed. His athleticism, his ability to not, the fact that he wasn't athletic was a detriment. He couldn't shoot. That was a detriment. He was small. It was a detriment. He wasn't a great defender like that. It was a detriment. He got to stop making excuses for real.